Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great, and today I'm gonna show you the best recent RPGs you should play right now. If you're new to the channel, you like my content and you want to see more game reviews and top 10 videos, then please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, then maybe follow me on Twitter at Hitman89Plays. Now without further ado, let me show you the first game. Elden Ring is basically what you would get if you took Dark Souls, made it open world, and added stealth and a mount. And let's not forget about the revolutionary, totally next-gen new feature. I'm obviously talking about the addition of a jump button. In all seriousness though, the fact it's an open world game made a lot more people want to try it out, cause as you can see, the lands between are beautiful, intriguing, and amazingly fun to explore. Plus when you're not in combat, the HUD disappears to let you enjoy the view, which I think is a nice touch. I'm a huge Demon Souls and Dark Souls fan, so Elden Ring is obviously my favorite RPG this year. And I know I sound like I just jizzed in my pants, but I didn't. I'm just telling you, if you like what you see, then don't let the game's difficulty scare you off. All you need to do is watch a dozen tutorials on YouTube, man the fuck up, and play the game. Don't forget to hit the like button for more useless tips. Anyways, at number 2 we have a post-apocalyptic open-world RPG. I honestly didn't really like Zero Dawn that much, but I'm loving Horizon Forbidden West. Probably because the devs fixed everything wrong with the first game and heavily improved the facial animations and cutscenes. I mean, look at these character models. They're just insane. So the storytelling is way better now, and the skill tree has been divided in 6 categories in order to allow players to focus on the skills that best suit their playstyle. The world is full of settlements where you can upgrade your weapons and armor, trade, and get side quests. The ones I did were interesting, and they're quite long, so if you want the game to last you a little longer than 30 hours, you might want to do a side quest or two every now and then. Climbing, on the other hand, is the only thing I didn't enjoy doing in this game, but gliding, riding mounts, exploring, and fighting all kinds of enemies felt real good. Forbidden West is basically Sony's Breath of the Wild. Now for those of you who don't have a PS5 or a PS4 and still want to play an RPG where you can fight machines every now and then, the next game on my list could be for you. I mean, Edge of Eternity is definitely rough around the edges, character models look outdated and the animations suck dick. Honestly, when I saw some gameplay videos, I wasn't really interested in playing this indie game, but as soon as I did, I got addicted to it and I found myself always wanted to do one more quest before putting the controller down. The turn-based combat system has tactical elements and a grid, cause occupying certain squares grants you advantages like healing, increased damage, and even ballistas that you can use. Also, every fight you get challenges to accomplish if you want extra rewards, so the game encourages you to try different approaches. And when it comes to exploration, it's always rewarding because the world is full of chests to open and items to collect. You'll also have to solve some puzzles, and you can upgrade your weapons and skills through crystals, which by the way can be merged, so even the weak ass crystals you get in the beginning can always be useful since you can merge them and keep on creating better ones that match your level. Now at number 4 we have Dying Light 2, and I know what some of you are thinking. A zombie game? How is that even an RPG? Hear me out. Dying Light 2 is a zombie game and an RPG. It's got a leveling system, crafting, quests, and shitty side quests. And even though it launched with plenty of bugs, technical issues, and poor optimization on PC, PS5, and Series X, patch after patch, Dying Light 2 is getting better. That being said, no amount of patches can fix the shitty cutscenes and weak writing, but the game is really fun to play thanks to its excellent gameplay. The parkour is awesome, the combat system is great, and it's so immersive that after fighting multiple enemies at once, I found myself out of breath in real life. And the more progress you make, the more cool moves you'll be able to unlock. And that's probably why the first hour is boring as fuck, but like I said, the more you play, the more fun and addictive Dying Light 2 gets. Moving on to the next game, and this one is for those of you who love tactical RPGs. Expeditions Rome isn't as deep as Divinity Original Sin 2 or the still in early access Baldur's Gate 3, but it's a great RPG with a tactical turn-based combat system, a challenging one. Cause even in fights that seem easy at first, you can quickly find yourself surrounded by enemy reinforcements. By the way, you can obviously create and customize your character. I called mine Smallus Virginus Pinus to make sure everyone shows him the respect he deserves. All jokes aside, Expeditions Rome is deeper than you might think and it's a great game, so if you're on PC and you like tactical RPGs, then maybe you should check it out. At number 6 we have a JRPG. Tales of Arise looks amazing. It's got a compelling story and good cutscenes, especially for those of you who are into anime. The world is so beautiful and full of chests and items to collect that it actually reminded me of Dragon Quest XI. Well, except for the real-time combat system, which, as you can see, can get messy real quick. On the other hand, the dodging system definitely got improved, and being able to use your companion's special attacks with the D-pad is a good idea. And if you don't like JRPGs that much, then let me show you the next game on my list. Just kidding, because at number 7 we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, which first released on PS4 back in 2020, and last year the game came out on PS5 and PC. Oh, and keep in mind the PC port is so terrible that only people with monster rigs will be able to enjoy it. So let's just talk about the actual game instead. In Final Fantasy VII Remake, you are Cloud Strife, a mercenary hired by an eco-terrorist group, and most importantly, on this game, all the ladies want your D. And I'm not even making it up, it's true. So the game looks insane. Too bad it's full of side quests that only act as a filler, so you'll most likely end up avoiding them. And compared to the original game, the combat system is now in real time, and even though it's not turn-based anymore, you still get to control everyone because the game basically pauses whenever you bring up the commands menu. Now, for those of you who are on Xbox and can't play the FF7 Remake just yet, you might want to check out the 8th game on my list. Elex 2 is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic open-world RPG made by Piranha Bytes. You know, the guys who made the Gothic and Risen series, which I love. Well, apart from the horrible optimization. Speaking of which, I played the game on PS5, it looks good, but it only runs at 30 frames per second and it's super demanding on PC as well. And since it's a Piranha Bytes game, the first couple of levels are tough until you manage to beat enough enemies, level up and upgrade your gear. And I love how the game doesn't give you easy enemies just because you got started. You have to survive the first few fights, loot corpses, and steal everything you can if you want to go from a mess to a living legend. I also like the dialogue options, especially the unnecessarily mean ones. So if you like Gothic, Risen, and Elex, or even if you've never played them, you need to give Elex 2 a shot. The next game I want to show you is called Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. It's an isometric RPG that came out on PC last year and will be releasing on consoles later this year. It's got 2 combat modes that you can switch between whenever you want, real-time with pause, and turn-based. I tried both and I prefer the turn-based one by a mile. But that's just me, so let me know in the comments down below if you're more of a real-time or a turn-based person. Anyways, Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is a great game, but it's got a few bugs that may or may not ruin the whole experience. Speaking of bugs, at number 10 we have Cyberpunk 2077. For real this time, I've been patiently waiting to play this game ever since it came out, and I didn't want to play an unfinished game, plus I know my PC wouldn't be able to handle it anyways, and I didn't want to play the shitty old-gen version that should have never been released. So now that the game finally came out on PS5 and Series X, I got to play it for the very first time, and you know what? It's not bad at all. Oh, and if you're wondering if it's still full of bugs, then the answer is yes. You'll definitely come across some bugs, so if you want to enjoy the game properly and face as few bugs as possible, you're gonna have to play it as a linear game. I mean, it's a story-driven game with a lot of dialogue, and the scripted parts work properly. For the most part. Guns feel good, especially with the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback support on PS5. Oh, and by the way, I played the game in performance mode because the ray tracing mode runs at 30 frames per second and only has ray traced shadows. So the difference in terms of graphics isn't that huge, and that's why in my opinion it's not worth the performance hit. Anyways, if you're like me and you've been waiting for Cyberpunk 2077 to be fixed to finally play it, you can go ahead and get the game on PC or current gen consoles. Definitely not the old gen version though. Speaking of consoles, special thanks to buygames.ps for always providing me with the console games I need. You'll find their link in the description. And that's gonna be it for the best RPGs you should play right now. I did my best to pick all kinds of role-playing games from medieval to sci-fi, out of the ones we got in 2021 and 2022 obviously, so I really hope this video helped you find some good games to play. Don't forget to hit the like button if it did, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's been Hitman89, see you guys very soon.